Going to start things off today with a possible look at the future of sports. But this is a nice little example of how to utilize a second screen to make a far richer viewing experience. Red Bull have just teamed up with Shazam in the States to create a second screen viewing treat around their supernatural snowboarding competition. And this
Get more exclusive POV videos when you see the Shazam button during Red Bull Signature Series on NBC. Use the Shazam app on your smartphone to experience what the run looks like from the rider's point of view. Watch Supernatural on 2 screens and collect 4 different runs during the show by Travis Rice, Gigi Ruff, Trey Hawkinson, and John Jackson.
Brilliant, very cool way of showing how you can use a second screen. But again, there's nothing to say that in the future that think of like motor racing or American football. There's nothing to say now that you can obviously stick a camera inside people's helmets, so you get a much a realer viewing experience. Here's a lovely piece of work. Every year, there's Ogilvy. After David Ogilvy, there's awards. And this is the one I actually won this time, and you wouldn't think normally, a cold and flu product can that really time with sports. How about something like the NFL? Well, the winner of the Grand Ogilvy this year was a cold and flu remedy, and it did manage to tie their sponsorship of the NFL very well. It's a good, because I guess a lot of brands will just sponsor a big event because, of course, it gets their name on that big event, be it on the side of the pitch or across a banner, across a racetrack, or on someone's shirt. But then, of course, leveraging that can be quite difficult for some people. This is a beautiful way of doing it. Because, of course, if you're in the NFL, the insight really is there are no days off. You're in pain, you've got injury, you just shoot yourself up with cortisone and you carry on.
When you're a coach in the NFL, there are no sick days. Vicks Dayquil defeats 5 cold and flu symptoms. Vicks NyQuil Cold and Flu. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, best sleep you ever got with a cold medicine.
It's really good, and they've made a few of them. Here's one for fans.
When you're a true fan, there are no sick days. Vicks Dayquil defeats 5 cold and flu symptoms.
Similar sort of thing, but a very nice idea. Australia's first on-demand TV service has just turned 5. Happy birthday, TVNZ On Demand. But of course, with TVNZ, they've come down to the thing of our high quality can be seen on any screen, anywhere. They're also currently working on an iPad, iPhone, and Android app so that you can watch any on demand on your mobile device. Of course, they had a thing of where they were the first to have it on PCs and desktops and laptops. And then of course they partnered with Sony PlayStation, had it through the PlayStation. But I mean, they're obviously a huge success. They've done a lot of wonderful work. First online TV show, for instance. But again, streams are up this year, February, 48% year on year. So it goes to show that content people are just craving good content, and then it's not damaging time spent on TV either. So it's a wonderful thing for them. And they're reaching over 1.8 million newbies every single month. So start to think, if you've got a brand ad or a nice ad that you put on television, get it on demand. Be it TVNZ, be it TV3 and MediaWorks, YouTube, anything really. If you've got a good ad, huge audience could be found online. Got a brand mascot? If you do, and you're struggling to engage with people on Facebook, maybe think about using your brand mascot. It's certainly working for brands in the States. Here's a couple of examples. Progressive Insurance have just created a character called Flo that now has 3.5 million fans online. Good way, but it's, do go in your own time, go and have a look at these, because it's a wonderful example of how you can engage fans if you don't actually have a lot to say from a brand point of view, or, for instance, you sell insurance. There's only so much you can talk about insurance. So you do need to create something different to engage with your consumers. StubHub, a ticket website belonging to eBay. They've just recently rolled out a cartoon tree called Ticket Oak, which is doing well. Spam, that wonderful meat-based type product. They've just created a character called Sir Kenalot, And they're using this as a way of reaching young consumers. And of course, social media is key to their efforts for this. Kraft Milk Bite Granola Bar also uses Facebook with the profile Mel. It's a puppet representative, but again, it's doing very well on social media. Captain Morgan, of course, a drinks brand, but what they've done is they've created, they've created the pirate insignia, and of course, they're using the Captain Morgan character to deliver the story of Captain Morgan, what he gets up to with his pirate buddies, and plundering and sailing the deep blue seas and oceans. So it's another way for them to engage with consumers. AvTech, another insurance firm, they've established an account when it's used. It's kind of funny, this one, because it's using their duck mascot, but they now have 313,000 fans and 14,000 Twitter followers. But again, do go and check it out. And lastly, Mr. Clean. Procter & Gamble, they've started one thus far is the character Mr. Clean, which you can kind of understand, I suppose. But they've attracted 218,000 likes so far, and it's a good way of people engaging. Particularly if you're a brand who does struggle for things to say, it is a way of engaging brands at the same time as being able to put in some brand messaging and product messaging. Introducing Frisbee Rush. Here's a new game for you.
369, the goose strike one, the monkey to the back on the streetcar line. The line broke, the monkey got choked, and they all went to heaven in a little rowboat. Clap back, clap back, clap back, clap, clap, clap back, clap your hand, pattern on your partner's hand. Right hand, clap back, clap your hand, cross it with your left arm, pat your partner's left arm. Clap back, clap your hand.
I've showed you that game just because it's a good way of a phone interacting with a TV screen. And another reason why I showed you that is that Panasonic, with their Viera TV, have just launched a new app that allows you to, say for instance, your child is using an iPad to watch content in the car, and they're watching a film, say, and when they get back into the house, they've not finished the film, they can just pick up the iPad, put it into the TV screen, and then kind of run their finger across the screen in the direction of the television, thus making the content jump from the iPad to the TV screen, where it will continue to play on a TV screen, which is quite amazing. And it will just work through, say for instance, Wi-Fi. It will just stream the video from the iPad through your Wi-Fi connection to the television, which is wonderful. But then it goes to that same sort of thing now. Technology really is pushing the boundaries, and devices are converging. But it means, of course, you can share content so easily now between multiple devices. When you update one, it updates all of them. It's all very exciting. But do check out that VR thing. Speaking of mobile, I did cover this off a while ago, but Business Insider have just come up with this wonderful deck on the future of mobile. And this is just letting people know that we're now surpassed, or smartphones now exceeded PC sales for the first time. And when you look to sort of 2013, so 2012, yes, so tablets and smartphones have now surpassed PC sales globally. In a few years, the number of mobile devices will dwarf the number of PCs. So when you get to say sort of 2000, well, we're guessing now what 2012, but when you get sort of 2016, the PC is, well, not many people are going to have one of them, but mobile devices will certainly dwarf it. We're very early, of course, in this revolution. I mean, certainly when you look at mobiles, more people certainly have dumb phones or feature phones than smartphones, but the rise has been significant. If you look at America, for instance, in May 2011, 35% of people had a smartphone. Now, in February 2012, 46% do. And still in America, 12% of people don't have a telephone, which is quite surprising. If we look now, of course, feature phones still rule the roost, but when you get to 2016, feature phones will pretty much be gone. Which, of course, is kind of bad news for Nokia, should their smartphones not take off. And of course, smartphones, it's not just, I mean, granted, it's young adults with money who kind of lead users of smartphones, but of course, it will soon be everyone. I mean, even in NZ by this year, probably 50 to 60% of people have a smartphone. And of course, the people who can afford most of these tablets are expensive, so quite often it's more the older demographic who can afford these sorts of things. So when you think of early adopters, it's not always the young. In 2 to 3 years, tablet sales will surpass PC sales also. It's not just mobiles anymore, but tablets themselves will surpass PC sales. At the moment, Android and Apple are kind of killing this in terms of what operating systems people on mobiles and tablets are using. Symbian, of course, is Nokia's old operating system, which of course they've now partnered with Microsoft. But of course, if you look at this, it's safe to say if the trend carries on, Apple and Android will soon take over all of these, and BlackBerry, Microsoft, and anyone else will pretty much disappear. So where do we know of this, you may ask? Well, if you remember this slide, this is America. So in the US, 12% of people don't have a telephone, whereas in NZ it's 3. Smartphones in America it's 46, NZ it's 31. Feature phones, US 41, NZ 66. An interesting stat for you. 50% of Americans now have at least one Apple product. That's quite amazing. But what's more amazing is that when looking at people who earn over $75,000, penetration was at 77%. No wonder Apple makes so much money. This is a new from AmEx, and I shall play to the ad first.
And I said, I'm not going in there. There's bees in there. Well, it was great meeting you, Jessica.
Oh, so nice to meet you too, Aziz. Bye.
Man, this girl likes a lot of stuff. Kayaking, skydiving, tuba. I like this stuff. I'm a sounder. I'll take one. Yeah, it looks pretty modern. I'll take it.
You do a lot of kayaking?
Yeah. Hi, Jessica.
Hey, I'm running late. Is it close to the restaurant?
All right, I'll see you there. Hi, Jessica.
It's too much.
New offers in new places, so you can try new things.
We got some sweet deals.
Sync your American Express card with Facebook, Foursquare, and Twitter to find savings. That's the membership effect of American Express.
Goes to show really now the importance of social media on in banking. But of course, American Express, instead of you sync your American Express with all of your social platforms, it will use your information to give you deals that are relevant to you. Also, if you were to tweet, you know, they've got some hashtags. If you were to tweet those hashtags, they would give you money off other things, and they would give you better rates in certain places. But again, it's a great way, for people to talk about their Amex in social spaces. Because as we know, peer-to-peer recommendation always dwarfs advertising, but it's a great way for them to infiltrate people's lives and give people better deals. Last thing for me this week, I'm just going to show you this ad. It's kind of cute, but it's a different tact, I guess, for ED, that isn't supposed to be there. A different tack for a tech company when everyone's obviously showing how wonderful high tech and revolutionary their products are. It's only taking a step back.
Maybe there's 3 little robots, tiny little robots. Their job is to make the phone work, and the leader helps decide what their job is. Like this. Hey, your job is to help the guys. And they have little tiny robot vehicles, except they have to be careful because they're a little small. For a small guy, they're pretty smart. They can predict the future, past, or present. Actually, they just record the stuff on themselves and then go and they just shoot out. Just like a slingshot. And then they go through the air and bring a song, picture, or video. They're pretty good. Mostly they like doing it because they never actually saw what it was like in human life. Just like how we don't know what's inside of that device.